Yeah. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
It's the brothers from GMS Atlanta. When I start out by giving our praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushua.
Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. And we're going to go straight into this lesson that we have going into America being Babylon the Great. You know, throughout the scriptures, when you read about this fourth kingdom in the book of Daniel being erected in the last days, that's talking about America. All right, when you read it, first it was Babylon, then it was the Medo-Persian joint rulership, then you had Greece, and then fourth you had Rome, which Rome it fell, and it said its deadly wounds was healed, which it restored its legacy and restored its basically, it resurrected itself and reincarnated, so to speak, for lack of a better term, itself in America. And that's why America, they had, the Treaty of Rome. They have in America where you learn Roman numerals. And furthermore, you learn Roman numerals. You learn about Roman gods. You learn about Greek gods. You learn about Babylonian legislations. All throughout the Americas, you have Babylonian, Roman, and Greek. Even more than that, all throughout these different countries, different type of architect of countries that was established, which shows without a shadow of a doubt that America is Babylon. And it's not and the scriptures is not talking about the Vatican. It's not talking about Rome, Italy. Rome was a superpower that established itself and it fell, like it tells you in 2nd Ezra. All right, but this new kingdom establishes itself, America. That's the new Babylon. That's the virgin daughter of Babylon that the scriptures is talking about, and it's going to go down with fire. All right, so we're going to jump straight into it.
God, this is Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. When the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Right, and this is during the time of the Tower of Babel. Because even with Babylon, you have different stages of Babylon. That's why you have Neo-Babylon, which scholars, they break down different empires into those different segments. You always have a neo, and you have an ancient or a middle time period, because even with kingdoms, they'll have their beginning established time, and they'll eventually throughout history they'll still be established, and certain individual scholars, they'll break them down into different time periods. All right. In this same area, which, if I'm not mistaken, what was it, Atlanta, Shinar? This Babylon, which was established through Nimrod, they was creating the Tower of Babel. Keep going.
And it came
read that part over.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Ah, see that? And is that not the same energy that America is pushing? Because even in Rome, what's the major language in Rome? Latin. Now, is the whole world speaking that Latin tongue? No.
That's cut.
That's a cut right there. But in America, since America, got its foothold over the world, it made it really mandatory for a lot of a lot of countries to have America as their English, that American dialect of English as their primary language. Mm-hmm. That's the bridge language where certain nations, they'll have exchanges, and that's the language that they use as a medium of dialogue or exchange.
All right. I got something to back you up on that.
Okay.
Since English is the international language of business and used increasingly around the world.
See, English is the international language of business. So when these different nations, they'll have business talks, so to speak, whether it's foreign relations, whether it's China or Russia, other different nations, the major language the majority of these nations speak is English.
Mm-hmm. And that's an extension of their currency too. Mm-hmm. You can't trade in oil, do business in oil without the U.S. currency.
That's right. Mm-hmm. And that shows you that America is this new Babylon in the scriptures. You got some more on that?
Business and financial services such as banking and accountancy around the world use English as the primary language of communication.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See? Keep going with that Genesis. And that's the point. You know, you can't work around it. English is the primary language used in businesses and international exchanges and financial, business deals. They have dialogues through that English tongue. Keep going.
And it came to pass. It's like you laugh, man. I'm just excited.
Okay.
Verse 2. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east that they found a plain in the land of Shinar.
Mm-hmm. They found a plain, which is a low land, so to speak, where they was going to establish something. And it was in the land of Shinar. Keep going.
And they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. Mm-hmm. And they made brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar.
For mortar.
And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven.
Right. And brothers that's familiar with the Tower of Babel, which was established through the nations, they established it, to be very palatial and very, very high. Mm-hmm. And the Most High destroyed the Tower of Babel and confounded the language of the people and scattered them all throughout. Because that's the main point I really want. If you could get that Isaiah 24.
Mm-hmm. And that city too, that Esau Sand built, which the elite banker family of Esau, the top nation that received a blessing from Isaac's forefather through their forefathers, Esau, received. They had the finance and stuff that they stole to receive to say, let's make this city this great city, which is Babylon the Great.
Mm-hmm. And just like even Babylon, they had a lot of what's the word? Basically, they had a lot of famous arts. That's why when you have the Hanging Garden of Babylon, which they call them the seven wonders of the world, different wonders that's all throughout the world, and America emulates that same energy. Because Babylon during the time, it was a major empire and it was a major hub that had it was the beacon of light at that time that all nations went to. All right. And they had their witches, they had sorcerers, they had a financial market, they had the architect, they had, different policies and different things, which one major thing they had was the code of Hammurabi, the Hammurabi code. All right. And America emulates that same energy because America was established through its predecessors. Babylon, Rome, Greece, the Persians and the Medes. That's why you have all these different gods established. And even above that, they have Chinese gods in America. They have Indian gods in America. They have Indian temples. Muslim temples, mosques all throughout the Americas.
Buddha.
Yep, Buddhist temples and idols established all throughout the Americas.
And they have the Baal Ark.
They have the Baal Ark. They have Baphomet. On top of the White House, they have Persephone's. Mm-hmm. They have all these different statues and all these different
the obelisk. Which is one in the Vatican too. Mm-hmm. There's three primarily. There's one in London, the Vatican, and one in Washington D.C., which pretty much represents that's the
three city-states.
Yeah, the different city-states. Washington being financial, Washington being the military, Vatican the religion, and then British being the London being the financial hub of that.
That's right. Because the Vatican or Rome has a major part in these times now, but it's not Babylon.
Correct.
It's a supporter and it's part of the armed conglomerate of Babylon, but it's not Babylon. Correct. This is Babylon. This is the land where we was forced to build up as we did during the times of the beginning. Because every time it was a major empire, even when you look at biblical maps, they always spread towards Jerusalem. They always had, when the empires was established, it took over Israel. Look at the Persian and the Medes. Look at Greece. Look at Rome. And look at now. look at us now, the northern and the southern kingdom. Tells you that in Jeremiah 50 and 33. Which you can get that next. Keep on. Or get what you had.
Come. Isaiah chapter 24, verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down.
And this is the city of confusion. On top of all that, America exceeded Babylon greatly. If you took people from Babylon, ancient Babylon, in its prime, and you dropped them off in America, they'd be like, God dang, it's confusion here, man. Mm-hmm. Here it is. That's the land of confusion. And they over there, and they would be here calling this land way more confusion or debaucherous than the land that they were joining. Mm-hmm. It said in Babylon that they had a different god for every day of the month, or excuse me, every day of the year. Over 365 gods. America has more gods than that.
Mm-hmm. They got 12 months. The 12 months of the year and the days of the week represents them Roman and Greek gods.
And they have these different, names written all throughout these, their products. Like hygiene. Hygiene is a Greek word. It goes back to a Greek god. Volcano goes back to Vulcan. Mm-hmm. And then you have Lady Liberty, goes back to Libertas, which was a Roman, Roman emblem. All these different names are demonic. These different streets, they're named after, demons, so to speak. Mm-hmm. They have, whether it's named after, slaves or, so-called, like Martin Luther King, so to speak. Or they have a street that's named after a so-called black man that was basically had his right stripped from him. And then you will have another street that's named after a so-called white man that was a Confederate that hated niggas, so to speak, and that advocated slavery. And then you will have a street named after or a state named after a Native American. And then you will have another city that's named after individuals that hated Native Americans and they partook in the destruction of the natives, such as Dade County. Dade County goes back to General Dade. So it's nothing but confusion here.
Yeah.
When you do all the connecting and the dots, it's a big web of confusion.
Got it. So it falls right under the name Babylon. Mm-hmm. On top of what the brother already brought out, you got women superseded men in America. You got homosexuality. You got transgenders. You got kids above their parents. It's complete madness over here. Wherever you go in America, everything's adverse to the scriptures. Everything is not the way it's supposed to be. It's just complete confusion.
Yep. And another thing too, how America is confusion. This bastard English that we speak. Because even if you take somebody from the the pinnacle of England, so to speak, and you hear them speak this English that we speak, they'll say that they don't understand it. They would say it's babble. The word babble just means confusion.
And this bastard English is spoken differently in every state that you go in. People speak differently in Washington D.C. to how they speak in New Jersey, to New York, to Georgia, to Florida, to L.A. Mm-hmm. So it's just complete confusion. Even the Latin tribes, the Spanish that they speak is all mixed up throughout where they go. Like the Mexicans, they speak different. Issachar speaks different to Ephraim. And it's just so America, and where does all this go wrong? All this happen in the cesspool that you call America.
That's right.
It says every house is shut up that no man may come in.
Yeah. So it says, and the city of confusion is broken down. That's the main point. And that city of confusion is America. Mm-hmm. America represents that glorious city that was established upon the backs and the whippings and the beatings and the extreme traffic of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And even on top of that, we're speaking on what's displayed overtly. We're not even speaking about the covert actions that America is partaking in, the sex rings, the child trafficking, the extreme drug trafficking throughout these major ports, Atlanta, Miami. All these are drug ports, man. Mm-hmm. Heroin ports, where they push opium, all these different pharmaceutical companies. Here it is. America is a percentage of the population of the world, but they have over a quarter of prisons all throughout the world, man. They hold majority of the prisons here in America. Does Rome do that? No. Does Rome have all the pharmaceutical drug companies all throughout? No.
Biggest crime rate.
Yep. Like the brother said, the greatest crime rate. On top of, just like we said, the pedophilia and all these different debaucherous things. When it comes down to debauchery and doing just vile things, people come to America.
Yeah. They go to Sin City. They go to Vegas.
Yep.
What happens in Vegas? Stays in Vegas. That's why they come to America to indulge in all types of wicked acts.
That Isaiah 5.
You know, just like, you know, now being in Atlanta, most of these faggots, they move down here so that they can indulge in, you know, in a lot of homosexual acts, and they can be more accepted, because America, you know, is all into that. Mm-hmm. You know, it's all into that. Wherever you want to go, where it's most madness, America's the place to be.
Mm-hmm. Like the apostle says, the great Milton
mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right.
Isaiah chapter 5 verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil.
Yeah, and America's evil. Mm-hmm. Just like the brother just brought up examples, and we bring an example point for point on all these different things that America partakes in. All these GMOs, all these different artificial foods, and all these different artificial waters, and these different things, contaminated water, all these different things that we consume. Over there in Rome, a lot of these countries don't even accept GMOs. It's a lot of things in America that certain countries just don't even mess with, man.
Like microwaves.
Yep.
A lot of European countries, they don't mess with microwaves. Mm-hmm. You know?
And they see how it actually does to the citizens and how the citizens react to that. But America, it being that this Frankenstein society, they don't care. They want the people to be bugged out. They want the people to be drugged and doped up and addicts, because they always want to make them crave and desire the wine of America. Yeah, this is that wine, the wine of the fornication that these different countries indulge in. And the scriptures say that, and they were angry, because certain countries actually took America's ways and its standard democracy and way of living as a trial run, and they see how it devastated their country. Mm-hmm. The women don't listen to the men. Women take the men to court. The households are departed, so to speak. The children grow up to be gangbangers and drug dealers, disrespectful, disobedient
to parents. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, disobedient to parents, like the brother said. It makes basically the citizens pieces of shit, man.
Yeah, kind of.
And that's why the nations are angry. They're not angry at Rome. That's madness, man.
Yeah.
They're angry at this place here, America, and that's why they're gonna burn this place, man.
Yeah, kind of. How many cable network companies come out of Rome that influence the whole world? America uses the unicorn, uses their networks, their television to push, you know, to get the other nations drunk with her wine.
Yeah, especially Hollywood too.
You know, yeah, Hollywood.
Yep.
You know,
that's that word. Excuse me. Go ahead. That word Hollywood goes back to the word hollows wood, which is that witchcraft. Because witches would use that hollow wood to cast out spells and enchantments upon the people. And just like the brother said, television. To mm-hmm. television, they would put those visions that they would channel those energies and them demons upon the people.
Correct. Brainwash you.
Brainwash you.
Yeah. You know, and America that's who does that. You know, like this is just these are just men waxing worse and worse in that day, man. You know, being seduced by devils and coming up with their own doctrines. This is pride, you know, to the highest degree. Mm-hmm. You know, where did you get that from? You know, but just for edification's sake, this is helping building up, you know, the real men of the Lord to understand what's really going on.
That's right.
We're in those last days. That's all this is. This is just prophecy of that we're in those last days. Scripture said, because in those last days, in those corners shall come. Mm-hmm. You know, so y'all are just a bunch
scoffers
of
and
scorners. You know, and y'all gonna be judged heavily for that, man.
And those niggas that's calling the Vatican area Babylon the Great is calling evil good. Yeah. Because they switching the truth into an evil thing.
Correct.
Because the truth, the gospel is good news.
Turning the truth into the most high into a lie, man.
Yeah,
you guys are fucking liars, man. The Most High Yahweh Shemi Awashai is going to deal with each and every one of you. Correct. Scriptures say you don't add or you take away from these scriptures, man. Mm-hmm. The scriptures give you the blueprint and the outline, and if you don't understand, that's why certain men, they would actually go to Jerusalem. Just like when Paul didn't understand the matters, he went out of his way to get the understanding before he would teach and speak on certain things outside of the spirit of the Lord. So the Most High, he got something for you guys, man. You got some more?
Yep, come. It says that put darkness for light and light for darkness. That put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter.
See that? They put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Here it is. This place projects the energy that everything is sweet and glorious here. Come to America. You will have the best job. You will have the best lavish life. The people love you.
But you got homeless people on the street, though.
But you got homeless people on the street. You got the everyday so-called American on drugs, man. Extreme and hard drugs at that. You got all these different scandals that's coming out of these different political leaders having doing homosexual acts, man, bestiality acts. You know, here it is. You know, brothers went into that Pizzagate. You know, showing how all these different rings that these so-called white people partake in, and of course, you know, you have guys that jump up. Well, Rome does that too. Of course, Rome does that, but America is the hub. This is the major. This is the center. This is the nucleus of wickedness.
Yeah, kind of.
That's why it says that make sweet bitter and bitter take bitter for sweet. What does that word America mean? America goes back to the word Amerigo, which means bitter. Mm-hmm. This is the bitter place where we was forced and force-fed false doctrines, poison, pork. You know, this is that kingdom. This is the domicile that the king of Babylon rules in. Got some more?
Land of confusion.
Land of confusion. All right, I got some. This is Ezekiel 24:6. Wherefore thus saith the Lord power, woe to the bloody city. That's another thing. Bloody city, man. 77 million natives slaughtered here. Brothers is walking on native and Negro bones on a daily, man.
Times so-called Negroes and the so-called Hades and West Indies.
That's right. All right. Wherefore thus saith the Lord power, woe to the bloody city, to the pot whose scum is therein, and whose scum is not gone out of it. Bring it out piece by piece, let no lot fall upon it. For her blood is in the midst of her. She set it upon the top of a rock. She poured it not upon the ground to cover it with dust. I'm gonna start it up. I'm gonna jump down to verse 12. She have wearied herself with lies. That's another thing too. That the deception of this educational system, man. They push out a lot of lies in that educational system. We come from apes. They say here it's another thing that they're pushing out. They're saying that Negroes actually decided to come here to the Americas as indentured servants, not slaves. And then they deleting all the searches that's going into slavery. They're deleting textbooks. They're snatching out all the accounts. That's why every year, in majority of these different years, colleges always update their textbooks. Colleges and these different school centers, they update the different textbooks because they want to keep that lie going, that deception. I got a little bit more. Excuse me. She have wearied herself with lies, and her great scum went not forth out of her. Her scum shall be in the fire. And thy filthiness is lewdness, because I have purged thee, and thou was not purged. Thou shalt not be purged from thy filthiness any more, till I have caused my fury to rest upon thee. And that's America. Because America has a filthy past, man. It has a very filthy history. Rome has a very filthy past also. But America, it even superseded the wickedness of Rome. To a certain degree, Rome didn't really even poison their people. Rome didn't spray chemtrails all throughout the air.
And Rome even let us keep our customs.
Yeah, to a certain degree. You had the Sanhedrin, you had the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the scribes. You had a structure of Jerusalem that was established that the Romans allowed. But America, they shredded our history on the whole and fed us nothing but lies.
Okay.
All right. Verse 14. I, the Lord, have spoken it. It shall come to pass. Somebody get Isaiah 47 too. And I will do it. I will not go back, neither will I spare it. Neither will I repent
According to thy ways and according to thy doings shall they judge thee, saith the Lord power. So the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to judge this place. And in the same kingdom that we're in captivity, this is the same kingdom that we're going to be delivered from.
That's right.
Tells you that in Daniel. Tells you that in Revelations.
Yeah, kind.
That the area where the saints is going to be martyred and different things like that, this is going to be the same land where the Most High is going to deliver. The Lord is going to come and break us out of this big stronghold or this giant prison, which is America.
Mm-hmm. That's Isaiah 47:1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne.
Yeah, and that ground representing the dust represents a lower state. Because America had its time. It had the roaring 20s and the times where they basically benefited off the backs of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's right.
Throughout the slave trades and different things of that nature. Where they benefited from the sugar cane and the trafficking, the ports, imports, and exports. Mm-hmm. This is the time where America is being broken up. And through the mouth of the prophets. Showing America's lewdness. Showing America's debauchery. Speaking out about how its infrastructure and all the different things is being broken down piece by piece. Keep going.
Okay. It says, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate.
Yeah. It said, thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Because just like said earlier, they push out this image that this is just such a glorious, beautiful kingdom. Mm-hmm. All right? But this same kingdom is the kingdom that certain people will come in and they can't even get out, man.
Yeah, okay.
They get taxed like hell.
They get debt.
They charge them hella interest, like the brother said. They put them in debt to the point where some of them can't even get a plane ticket and go home, man.
Yeah, correct. But hey, as soon as you're born as a so-called American citizen, you're already $62,000 in debt.
Yep.
You know?
You're already in prison.
You're already in prison, man. You're already enslaved. This whole place is set up as a big hub of slavery. You know? So nowhere else that's really happening, man. It's not happening in the Vatican. Definitely not. You know, they got like what, if I'm not mistaken, just about 0.2 square miles. It's like just over, I don't even know. Let me check it out. I think I just had it up right here. The Vatican City, or officially the Vatican City State, is a landlocked sovereign city-state within Italy, city of Rome, within an area of only 110 acres. That's just about 0.17 square miles. And in 2016, it has a population of around 840 people.
Yeah, see, nobody ain't worried about that.
Over there, man.
840 people. That's not even a stack. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's... Come on, man.
And even in Rome, they don't have really a lot of... They have a lot of, cathedrals and different things of that nature. But America, this is the tourist attraction. Whenever somebody over there in China, India, all throughout Europe, they get some bread in their pocket. Africa, they get some bread in their pocket. They're going to take that plane trip over here to America.
Yeah, kind of. I mean,
increase. Because like the Lord said, the heathens, the other nations should get above thee very high. Because we brought over here in slavery, but we still ain't got nowhere. These other nations, gooks, Chinese, so-called Chinese folks and stuff like that, they come over here, they make it. Like the brother said, they get their bread, they come over here because America is influential to the world as that beacon of light, as the land of milk and honey, so people can prosper.
Just like the brother said, that land of milk and honey, that was beautiful.
Yeah,
and here it is, most visited destinations by international tourist arrivals. Number 1 is France. Number 2, United States. Number 3, Spain. Number 4, China. I don't see Rome. Rome's not on here.
You see?
You don't see no Rome.
See?
It's not even in the top 5.
Not even in the top 5. But any y'all brothers had anything else?
I got one more scripture.
Okay, that's fine.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23.
After that, you could jump down to 33 also.
Okay, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 23, and it reads, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Mm-hmm. And what's that hammer? America. America is that hammering nation that went land to land, country to country, taking over and spoiling. America has Rome in its back pocket. If you want to be technical, of course, everything is through the international bakers, but America is that superpower. America is this giant hub that's hammering and destroying these different nations. That's why you have U.S. bases all throughout, not Roman bases.
Right along with Israel.
Yeah.
Which is a power shaker.
That's a mover and shaker too.
Okay.
And that hammer is being snatched out of this so-called white man's hand. Because this so-called white man sledged these different nations. That's why you have Africa. That's why you have all these different nations that bows down to America. And they have to have exchanges with America, because if they don't have exchanges with America, America take them to war. They'll smudge an image on them, just like they did with Syria, just like they did with Muammar Gaddafi and these different nations that was trying to break off and start off their own financial institution, and then they'll destroy them.
But they send them economic hitmen.
Economic hitmen. Then they'll start proxy wars, or they'll establish militias and different things like that that'll just, run the country into the dirt, man.
Yeah, current.
Just like over there in Afghanistan. When they hit Afghanistan, they hit that the treasure chest, which was the opium. The poppy fields and the heroin. Heroin addiction shot up to the heavens. You got some more?
Yeah. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon becoming desolation among the nations?
See, and America is becoming a desolation. All these different countries. Hey, another thing too. America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Japan. These different countries now have that nuclear capability, and they looking to get revenge on America.
That's right.
That's why you have Korea talking cash money shit, man.
Yeah.
And you got other countries that's actually backing Korea and backing these different countries up because they know how wicked America is.
Especially
they know
Russia
how
too.
America just plundered their economies.
Yeah,
just like the brothers. Well, you said it with you. Yeah.
It's like Russia. Russia is backing up these nations pursuant to Ezekiel chapter 38.
Yeah, current.
They should be a guard unto these other nations. Because they nuclear. Russia is another superpower that back in the day, the Cold War. America know about them.
Well, is Rome being is Russia being a guard onto Iran from Rome? Hell no. So, does Rome have that strong military with a major threat like that? No.
Yeah, the EU and NATO is not even. See, that goes into. That's a whole other story. But EU and NATO is not even answering to Rome. They answering to America. They're of the establishment of America.
It's established in America.
Right.
Yeah, current.
In New York. All right, that's the empire, and it's a lot of
Empire State.
Yep, it's a lot of different things that go on in that hub in America, DC. These are major cities. Hell, another thing too, how you know this is Babylon? People in China know what California is.
Yeah.
They know all these little parts of America, but people in America don't be knowing about none of that shit over there, man.
Yeah.
Because this is a major, this is the emblem of the world.
It's the world within the world.
The world within the world. All these different restaurants, McDonald's, Taco Bell, and all that other garbage. Yeah. These different nations buy into that garbage. Yeah, That's the wine.
Yeah, because if you go around to different countries of the world, which I've been, kind of through the part of the Lord, been kind of privileged to travel, and there's a KFC, a McDonald's, all these American based companies in these other nations. And then, like the brother said, when you come to America and you're speaking your native tongue, what they do, they turn up their face like, I can't understand you. America's the only country that refuses to try and understand your language. You gotta adapt to them. When they come over here, they try to learn. Okay, well, how do I speak the lingo? America go over there? They're like, I don't understand. Speak American. They don't even say speak English. They say speak American because American English is different to the Queen's English.
Yeah, Queen. Yep.
So this whole American, even football. You go around, you go everywhere besides America and Canada. The word football is football.
Yeah,
football. In America, they call it soccer.
Confusion.
You see, it's confusion.
Yeah.
How is that possible? Because they have their own world. They want everybody to be, about them.
Oh, and pursuant to the language too. Their language is confusing. You gotta take goddamn 10 minutes to get to the point.
Yeah,
the Hebrew language gets to the point.
That's right. And that's why even America has the English language has all these different silent forms. Yeah. It's just all kind of confusion written in this language, man. Yeah, this is the hub of confusion. All right, and you got a little bit more? Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll end it with this scripture. This is Isaiah 13:19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, which the Chaldees was known through their witchcraft and sorcery. Mm-hmm. That was Babylon's Illuminati, so to speak. That was their elite establishment in the time of Babylon. So Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, which represents America, that virgin daughter. Another thing too, which we was discussing before, how America is a virgin daughter because it was never touched. A virgin is something that's unblemished or untouched. Name one country that invaded America.
Mm-hmm. Except America itself.
Yeah, except the British.
The British did, yeah. To the White House, but they still
America wasn't established then.
Yeah, that's why in 1776 they had the independence. Yeah, America, the British established their independence because they was really receiving a high taxation amongst other things, and they basically broke off and established the United States of America. Mm-hmm. Which even the United States of America is confusion. Because you got state policies, and you can do certain things in Florida that you can't do in Georgia. Correct. You can do certain things in Georgia that you can't do in South Carolina. Every state has their own world, their own legislations, their own legal code and their illegal code. Because you remember those, it's a shattered country in itself.
Yeah,
Salakia.
Cause I was about to say, I remember growing up watching old movies that they would always try to get over to another state, cross the border, so that hey man, when I committed a crime over here in Colorado, but now I'm driving over here to to Dakota, so the cops can't follow me. Mm-hmm. And it was only recently where they made it where hey, when the cops over there now they can actually pursue you. Once you got other states, that's why a lot of criminals back in the day, that's what they would do. They would commit crimes in different states and move around.
Yeah, like in Las Vegas, and then on top of that they got Cali Brexit. Mm-hmm. Cali Acid. Cali Acid. Oh, and on top of that, I saw a commercial too, and then we can wrap whatever y'all got. I seen a commercial too. It says it's a couple went out to a restaurant. Then he was in some other state, and the waitress said, "Are y'all from Georgia?" And they was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "Sorry, we don't serve people who stay in Georgia." Hey, it seems way out there, but it was really true. It was on my YouTube app. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was on my YouTube app, and they had a funny commercial. I went into a financial series on YouTube, and they had a little ad before we went to the main.
Yeah, I seen that commercial.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. I was like, what the fuck? It's like they fighting with water down here. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but they supposed to be united though, like
the divided states of America. Yeah, the confused states of it's confusion. Babylon, Yeah, this is worse than Babylon. You can't even really compare America to Babylon because it exceeds Babylon all the way. Mm-hmm. All right,
Babylon steroids.
Yeah, Babylon steroids. Drugged up version of Babylon. Okay. This is a crackhead strong Babylon. They say when them crackheads, be on that drugs, man. You punch them dead in the face, man. That shit ain't gonna hurt them, man.
They on that flocker. This
Hey, isn't this whole country on drugs one way or another, from the child on pharmaceutical drug up to the old person, man?
Yeah, kind.
All right. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And that's talking about missiles dropping on this place. All these missiles is aimed towards America. This is the place where we got defrauded and jacked up as a people. And this is the place where Yahweh through his son, Yahweh is going to deliver the children, the elected Israel.
That's right.
All right. So we want to end it by giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, Makim.
Shalom.